Hi, I'm David. This is Joe. Here's our review for the Black Panther.
Okay, so the Black Panther stars Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, and Martin Freeman, and a whole plethora of other people, and is about the Black Panther, this little guy, a superhero who has to tackle becoming a king and saving his entire country from meats, from lots of meats.
Saving his entire... Well, I think as a king, he's just trying to protect his country and figure out how to rule. Thematically, it's really about his love for his father, who he had always thought of as like the perfect role model and the perfect king, and
He wants to be just like him.
yeah, he looks up to him and he wants to be that guy. And as the movie shows you, his father didn't have the answer for everything, and the movie's really about the Black Panther trying to resolve this one particular situation. Black Panther's doing great. I mean, it's crushing the box office.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. I mean, people, you could tell the energy in the audience. Everybody was like cheering and laughing when they're supposed to laugh, and I mean, just yelling really just randomly throughout. Like, just there was a lot of exciting moments and a little, funny moments here and there. Some old memes thrown in there.
Yeah, some of it might be due to where we live, but there was a lot of audience reactions that were super big and loud.
I mean, living in the Bay Area, as soon as they showed Oakland, California, the whole theater went crazy. So, as expected.
Which is where the director is from.
Yeah, it's where he's from and where the Black Panthers originated. So it makes sense, at least. But
So we're going to talk about this movie as a whole, as a movie on its own, and as a Marvel movie. So first off, let's talk about how it does as a Marvel movie. So how do you think this movie, The Black Panther, compares to, say, like Iron Man 1 or Thor 1?
I think if we're going to put it up against the other Marvel movies, it does something great in that it shows us something we haven't seen before. I don't think we've seen a Marvel film be this political before.
Right.
Because, I mean, it tackles some issues.
Well, other than Civil War, which is all political.
Was it?
Yeah, the whole point is, signing that thing. It's the whole reason.
No, I mean like real world politics. Like our world.
Yeah, it had messages towards our world, but this one was
No, obviously I don't mean like
I know, I was
in the Marvel universe. Of course, it's in some ways are political, but I mean in our world, like this had a strong message as well, and they took it. It was a serious take, which was kind of nice considering we just had Thor Ragnarok, which was like hardcore comedy, and then they hit us with this. And it takes place in the same universe, and they have all these different genres they can kind of mold into the same world.
Yeah, and it's cool because I think it still has that Marvel vibe that all the rest of the Marvel movies have. Like, you've come to expect Marvel movies to be a certain way, to have a certain feel, and have the same problems that all Marvel movies have.
Yeah.
And I think this one, it has a few of Marvel's problems that carry on, like, from other Marvel movies, but it also has some new things, and while still feeling like the rest.
Like a great example of that is the villains.
Yeah.
I know me and you have talked about it a few times. The Marvel villains always seem to be just a duplicate of the hero or the superhero.
Iron Man 1, he fights another Iron Man.
Yeah,
it's his old suit.
The Hulk fights, the Gray Hulk.
I know, another Hulk.
Thor fights his little brother Loki, and it's like the same,
basically another Hulk.
Same stuff, And this one, you still get that. It's just a mirror image of the hero.
Yeah.
But they do it in such a way that's really just interesting, compelling, and exciting. Like Michael B. Jordan, when they first showed him, I was like, oh shit, this is going to be good. I was like, all right.
Yeah, and then, I already could tell I was going to like him.
Unfortunately, then you don't see him for like another half hour.
Yeah. He pops in a few times, and you don't really know what you don't know how he's going to fit in almost to the rest of the story. There's a story that's going on in Wakanda with T'Challa, becoming king, and then we keep showing this villain, which he's going to be the villain and play in somehow. You just don't know how. You're like, okay, he's doing...
Especially with Claw.
Yeah.
He was there.
Claw. He was in Civil War.
Everybody knows
played
he's
by
going to be
Andy
in
Serkis.
There. Yeah, Andy Serkis, fucking legend.
Of course. I almost promise you he played one of the rhinos also.
He did. Oh, for sure. But I mean, you start out with him also in it, and it's kind of like, okay, next time, okay, the first time you see Andy Serkis and Michael B. Jordan, their characters are together. Mm-hmm. The next time, without really, I guess, spoiling anything, the next time you see Claw, the entire time I was sitting there waiting, okay, when's Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger, when's he gonna pop up? And I kept waiting for it in the scene, and it didn't happen. Right. And I was like, oh, they're not just, oh, okay. And then it just kept going, and I was like, well, when is he gonna pop back in?
Exactly. When he finally does tie in, it's almost like the third act. I'd say the end of the second act of the movie. He starts to become a really big problem, like for all of the characters that we had.
I think he comes in at the midpoint in the story. It's done in such a way where the focus is so much on Claw and Wakanda's internal conflict, that we don't really think about it. And so by the time, he does show up in the middle of the story.
Which is a good thing and bad thing. I feel like it works for the story.
Yeah. I think it works really well.
Yeah.
It's just, it kind of teases you.
Because it catches you off guard, and it catches the Wakandans off guard, and so everybody's caught off guard by Killmonger's appearance in the story.
And then let's see, as far as heroes go in the Marvel Universe, where do you feel Black Panther has fallen in?
Well, I mean, I loved him in Civil War when he popped up. That was his debut. He, I think, his first scene was his father. I guess spoilers for Civil War. Probably should have watched that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching Black Panther, you've probably seen Civil War.
So that's also a thing. You should go watch Civil War before you watch this one. You don't really need to watch any of the other Marvel films. No. Just Civil War, mostly.
We don't even really need to watch Civil War. Really it shows the flashback in this movie.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but there's a flashback. His dad gets offed in Civil War, but since from that scene and he becomes the Black Panther, and I was on board with him as a superhero, and I was
right away you understand his purpose.
Exactly.
And I mean the same thing for Killmonger. You understand his purpose, then you understand his ideology. And I think it's so important as far as seeing okay, I get where he's coming from. Yeah. And even though he's going about it the wrong way.
Which a lot of great villains do that exact thing. The Joker, same thing. You kind of understand where he's coming from, but you're he's doing it in a very wrong way. Yeah. But I was on board with him as a hero from Civil War. I was already excited. I didn't know they were gonna make a Black Panther. I didn't know they were gonna make a Black Panther movie when I watched Civil War. Assuming they would. And I was looking forward to it. And now seeing him for 2 hours straight, or however long this movie was, it may have ran longer than 2 hours. Marvel movies tend to do that lately. No. But I loved seeing him.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman does great. I mean, he has that voice.
That voice,
dude. When I found out he was from South Carolina, I was like, oh really? Wow.
I never freeze.
That accent that he puts on for the movie is so cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, his portrayal is great. In the movie, let's see.
Let's talk about it as a movie as a whole, not just a Marvel movie. How does it do, just compared to any other movie that's coming out? Well, not this year, but and last year, because this year there's not much.
If we compare it to movies this year, I mean, it's crushing everything.
Oh yeah,
because nothing really compares. But
he's a much better hero than Mr. Grey.
I don't know, man. But let's see. I mean, this is for sure the best movie of the year so far.
Yeah.
Like that. And as a movie, even if you're not a fan of Marvel and you go into this and just want to see an action flick, and
I think you'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's enjoyable. There's pretty much something going on, just nonstop. There's no dull moment. In most action, especially superhero movies, they have really slow healing process arcs where it's oh no, the hero got injured, and it's even no matter how many times he gets his ass kicked or anything happens to him, all heroes get hurt to some degree.
Exactly.
There's never that slow, oh man, he's going to take months to rehab and all this. No, they just go over to another character. Okay, this is what's going on here, this is what's going on there. And it's just moving.
One can argue the opposite point. With pacing, I think is really good, but some can argue that the pacing is bad because it's so quick. Because, there is a lot of movies with a lot of build-up, and, they recover slowly, and it takes time, and it's kind of, you're waiting for it to happen. In this movie, it happens so quickly that sometimes some of the arcs happen almost in the same scene.
Yeah.
But
I think the slower pace is good for movies with a darker tone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if it's a really, like if we have gray all in the background, and I'm thinking specifically like a DC, but
shots fired to DC.
But like not even in a bad way. Like even Dark Knight, you know what I mean? Like his slow rehab, like Dark Knight Rises, that was still great.
Yeah.
But he has that slow rehab, and it's like a really dark.
Yeah, and that
tone.
movie I feel like benefited from that. This
Whereas
movie
I don't
wouldn't
think
have benefited.
it's too. I don't want to say it's too upbeat.
Yeah.
But just the energy has a nice. I feel like the Kendrick Lamar soundtrack really it fits so well because it's kind of just that kind of hip hop vibe. It just moves.
Soundtrack's amazing, by the way. Yeah, if you haven't already listened to it, I'm sure you have. It's all over the radio too. They already have I think I've heard already 3 songs from this album on the radio.
Yeah.
Which I don't listen to the radio much, but I've heard it.
And then let's see the side characters. I mean,
we've got
his whole family. I really like how this is a family affair. You know what I mean? This is his sister has his back. His mom's there. It's
his dad's there.
Yeah,
in spirit. Yeah.
And you don't see that too much with other Marvel characters. They're trying.
They mostly don't have a family.
Yeah. They're very
probably all dead.
Makes them a little less relatable.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay, he has Aunt May, but
May.
You don't see them do family stuff really or anything.
Yeah.
She's not really too important.
Yeah.
She's just kind of in the background.
And at least I really liked Black Panther's sister. She did really awesome as like her like the techie kind of
she was the
guy in the chair from like Spider-Man, what do you say? But I liked a lot of other movies when they have a family, dynamic where one of the family members helps out the hero, which it does happen sometimes where the sister...
I read somewhere that they wanted this to kind of be like the James Bond kind of the Marvel universe, like as far as like spy thrillers. So he had to have his tech guy or girl, and that was his sister who gave him all his gadgets, even though it's pretty much one gadget. It's the suit.
It's pretty much the suit.
But she does a bunch of other things for other people, and
and I just liked. It seems like sometimes in situations like that, they always have a moment where they tell the tech genius or whoever's related to them, to do the one thing, that's going to help them out, but put them in grave danger, and they never want to do it. It seems like it happens all the time, like flip this switch, or like Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, it happens like with Gwen Stacy when he's holding on to like some electrical wires and tells her to pull the switch, and she doesn't want to do it, and like this one, it's like similar situations happen where he's like, okay, you need to do this, and she's like, really? But, and then he's like, just do it. She's like, okay, yeah. I trust him. Like I trust his skill. Like they understand each other's abilities like so well that it just like I don't know. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. As far as a rating goes, this one was tough because I mean, especially right now, there's nothing else good coming out. So I feel like it's taking advantage of that, and it might seem better than it is. But I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 6.
Yeah,
it was fucking great.
Yeah, that's what I would give it to. So 5 out of 6 is Black Panther's official rating. So go see it if you haven't already. And we're going to get into spoilers now, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, stop watching here and go watch it. But for the rest of you, we'll be back in a second. Okay, so a few quick spoilers. We're not going to talk about everything, but let's talk about a few things. So let's talk about the villain in depth now.
Okay. So Killmonger, I mean, he was really interesting. I think any villain who uses violence is going to be intriguing.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
The hell,
damn it, Alexa.
Okay, but any villain who uses violence is always going to be intriguing. Right. Just because, it seems like him and Black Panther are going through the same dilemma as far as how to help Africans throughout the world.
Yeah.
And the Black Panther, he has his father and his father's reign to kind of like go off of, but his father really didn't do anything.
No.
He just kept them protected and isolated.
Yeah, like the rest of the kings did.
And in the beginning of the movie, he obviously he thinks, it's worked out. We'll keep doing it. And then eventually learns, well, now we need to reach out because there's people out there like Michael B. Jordan, well, like Killmonger, who are being made because of all this bad shit going on.
Right.
And then you have on the other side of that is such a good villain because they're tackling the same issue, but they just have two different answers. And his is, well, give weapons to everybody, overthrow the fucking governments, and start killing people.
Yeah, which is not the right way to go about a situation like that. Mm-hmm. But Black Panther has, the opposite kind of...
about, peace and unity.
But he wants peace, but he isn't willing to do anything about it, really. Mm-hmm. He wants to keep peace for the Wakandans, but he's still trying to do what his father did and keep everybody, separate from society. Later in the movie, he warms up to that idea, of course. Mm-hmm. Like, we all knew he would. But, at the beginning, that's kind of where he's at. He doesn't want to help other people because, he wants to help them as the Black Panther. Yeah. But Wakandans come first.
That's one thing about the story, that his story arc wasn't so, I don't know, it wasn't so in your face that you had to see, okay, well, obviously this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. With, other Marvel movies, I would feel like that. Okay, this is his dilemma, and he's going to figure this out. Yeah. With Black Panther, I feel like so many other things were thrown in your face that you don't really think about his story arc. So as it's happening, you can just enjoy it.
Yeah. So Black Panther gets his ass kicked a bit.
A lot.
The first challenging day or whatever it is.
M'Baku.
M'Baku.
With this kind of haircut. Exactly. Yeah.
He comes in out of nowhere after all of the rest of the tribes say, we will not challenge because they already respect him as the Black Panther and as their king. Yeah. So they say, we won't challenge you as a king. We're ready to just, and then I love when they say, is there anybody of royal blood who would like to challenge him? And his sister raises his hand, and everybody's like, and
I thought for a second, oh shit, he's going to fight his sister.
She's like, can we hurry this up? Everybody knows that everybody wants him to be king, except for the men from the mountains. I guess there's a tribe who's been excluded for years, who decided not to be a part of Wakanda in the way everybody else is. Yeah. So they kind of leave and aren't a part of their politics, but they come in and challenge T'Challa. He whoops his ass for a while.
M'Baku fucking just
which is good because at the beginning of that scene, I was like, okay, well, we know T'Challa is going to win this battle, but I was like, how much is it going to be able to suspend my disbelief and expect?
And he does things that you could tell hurt T'Challa. So it's even though he doesn't lose, it's he's still getting fucked up. Yeah. And it's still painful, and you still feel for the guy.
Yeah. And even when T'Challa's winning, they're on the edge of that waterfall, that cliff, and he's got him in a headlock, and it's just, he's still tap out, but he's about to fall too, and it's just, it was a really good scene. Yeah. And
what I liked is that the M'Baku character, he comes back later. Yeah. And I think that's a really good mark of good storytelling, is that you have a minor character that actually plays an important part. Yeah. And they bring him back, and
because he ends up, he saves T'Challa's life, sort of, by putting him in
a
snow.
Good guy. Yeah. It's they couldn't find him a blanket.
They don't have blankets that far up into the mountains.
They only have snow. It's whatever.
But later on, Killmonger comes out of nowhere, kind of. He
I thought it was weird.
This plan to take over Wakanda, and he does so by killing Claw, because this is somebody that the Wakandans want dead. So he keeps stealing their vibranium, and he's selling it to people, and they're like, okay, he's causing trouble. But the old king couldn't capture him.
And the guy, the actor, what's his name from Get Out? I don't remember his name. But
yes,
he wants Claw dead, and he's all for it. And he's disappointed in the Black Panther, so that leaves this void. He's looking for somebody. Yeah. And somehow Michael B. Jordan knows that. Yeah. And he knows exactly that.
Which I don't know why he knows that, but he kills Claw.
Yeah. I remember that scene when they're all around the airplane or whatever. Yeah. And he shot Claw, killed him. He killed all of them. Yeah. And I was like, didn't see that coming. I was like, it kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, it makes sense as the movie goes on, but at the moment it's like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, he just rescued him. He went through all the trouble.
He went through a lot of trouble to find him, but I guess, that's his key to get into Wakanda.
Yeah, and he comes in and says, here's the guy you want. Let me talk to your king. And they say, okay. Yeah. He comes in, shows them that he's of royal blood, kind of, and says, I want to challenge challenge the king. T'Challa accepts.
He fucks him up.
Oh yeah.
He whoops his ass, and then
he basically kills him.
Picks him up, throws him fucking down the waterfall.
And then that's where things start going downhill. Yeah. His family immediately knows, okay, let's get out of here. Like, T'Challa just got killed by this guy. He's not going to want us alive or here. Let's leave.
It's like when a new lion takes over the pride. It's
exactly.
Like,
this was very Lion King-esque.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great.
Yeah, I know. Michael B. Jordan, I thought that fool was sick.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the whole comeback, he comes back, takes down a fighter pilot. And then Martin Freeman plays a really big role in protecting Wakanda. And which I thought was awesome.
He saves all the weapons from getting out of Wakanda, which is great. And Martin Freeman, every time you see him, I mean, he does great.
Yeah, he's awesome. It's awesome because he doesn't... usually a character like that, when he's such a fish out of water kind of situation, but they don't really treat him like that, at least not the main family.
Yeah.
Some everybody other people, everybody else does, but the main family, like who you care about, they don't treat him like that, and they take his advice.
I don't know, the sister does kind of treat him like that.
Kind of. She tells him not to touch things, and she's like, you know,
gotta fix another white boy, and she was like, she's kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. But she was excited about it too. She's like, "Oh boy, you brought us another white boy to fix up."
Yeah.
Referring to Bucky. And,
the White Wolf.
The White Wolf.
And that's another thing. So, are we going to get a Black Panther 2 where the White Wolf teams up and leads his secret service? Because that's in the comics that Bucky is the White Wolf and is the commander. Well, not Bucky, but the White Wolf character is the commander of like his secret spec ops or some shit.
Yeah. Well, if they don't kill them both by Infinity War, then I guess we'll see.
I know. I wonder if it's like a fake. You know,
like, fake guy.
Oh, he's gonna become this character. Just kidding, they're all fucking dead.
Yeah.
Thanos kills both of them.
Which could be like that could entirely happen. But yeah, I like the way they treated him. He when they're talking about Claw, he shows them like Claw's record and says, "Hey, you know, this guy's wanted for all these things." And like when Killmonger's taking over, he goes, "Of course he's taking over like that. This is basic, you know,
this
like
is how he's trained."
Yeah, this is how people, you know, take over colonies like this." And
I really like the scene where Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis were just face to face, you know, trying to interview each other.
Oh yeah,
and fucking just having them two go back and forth.
Yeah,
it was exciting.
There's also a casino scene that was pretty cool. One of the big fights was a huge car chase.
I didn't notice. Awesome. I watched this thing with the director after,
where he wrote like
and he points out like each one of them like they're wearing the red, black, and green of like an African flag.
Yeah,
and there's all these subtle little details that were put in there. That's like it's worth watching more than once. You pick those small things up.
Cool Stan Lee cameo. Michonne's in this movie, which is cool. She's also fighting with another sword type weapon. Then the final battle goes down. Black Panther versus Black Panther, pretty much. We got Black Panther and like Gold Panther. Killmonger. But yeah, it's cool. His outfit's pretty cool.
And he got stabbed in the chest, and he survived a really long time.
Yeah,
he got stabbed in the heart.
Yeah, they walked him all the way across this train track.
Just walked down this train track and then off.
Which I have to wonder how that walk went, because the train comes every few seconds. It shows like everything.
Well, I think his sister was operating the controls, so that's probably how it stopped.
I think she was just turning on those things on the side. Yeah, so I don't know if they had to walk and then move out of the way of the train and kind of like stand there.
He has to hold him up over his head.
Yeah,
then he has to carry him back and drive.
But I thought it was great. They probably talked about it a lot. But then Killmonger ultimately dies, and that's that. And Black Panther is the king.
Yeah.
But, well, that's what we thought about Black Panther. Let us know what you think in the comments. And look out for future video where we will rank all of the Marvel movies so far.
Alright, later.
Alright, take a nap, guys.
Man, I like that part where Spider-Man comes in
which
kills Black Panther and then he becomes Deadpool.